So I'm here outside my bank. It's a US bank, and today what I'm going to be doing is showing you guys how you can stop paying them and get them to start paying you. How are you guys doing today? My name is Apple, and today we are filling in the financial gap between schools and the real world. And today I wanted to come at you guys with a video about the difference between debit cards and credit cards, and why every time at the restaurant that I work at, when somebody tries to pay with a debit card, I just want to snap it in half right in front of their face. So let's get on into it. So basically, what is the difference between a debit card and a credit card? Well, most simply, a debit card is using money that you already have in the bank. So you are paying with bank money, I like to say. And with a credit card, you are using money that you don't necessarily have. So you're using bill money, I like to say, the bill that comes in that you have to pay every single month. That is where your money is coming from. Whereas with a debit card, your money is coming straight from a bank account. So that is the main difference between a debit card and a credit card. So with a debit card, you have to spend past income. You have to spend income that you made in the past on these things that you're purchasing. However, with a credit card, what you can actually do is you can utilize future income in order to make these purchases. So if you know you're going to be making $1,000 this month, you can say go out and buy a $1,000 computer and then pay your credit card bill off at the end of the month with that $1,000 that you made. You didn't necessarily have to have that money beforehand, but you were able to utilize future income in order to make this purchase. However, what I like to do with my credit cards is to utilize past income. So I like to pay off my bill immediately right when the statement posts, so that or even before the statement posts, actually. I made a whole video about why that could be a good idea for you if you're looking to boost your credit score. But what I like to do is utilize past income on my credit card, on my bill, so that I'm not relying on this paycheck coming in order to keep up my quality of life. Because if you're relying on that paycheck and suddenly it dries up, then you can be in a really tough spot if you're stuck with some serious credit card debt on your hands. Now, the two most common reasons that college students give for not getting a credit card is, one, they just don't want to bother with it. They think it's too much of a hassle for them to go through this process of actually applying for a credit card, doing some research into what credit card might be the best option for them. And the second reason that college students give is that they don't want to go into debt. So what I want to do in this video is show you guys why it is actually worth it to get a credit card, and you don't actually have to go in debt if you do it right. So let's go through that right now. But first, let's play a little bit of devil's advocate. So why might you want to go for a debit card instead of a credit card? Well, with a debit card, usually it's going to be completely free to use. So what I mean by free to use is there's probably not going to be many fees. There might be like a monthly fee or a maintenance fee, but you can definitely find debit cards that do not have any fees associated with them whatsoever. Additionally, because you're not accumulating debt, there is going to be no interest payments. So if you have a debit card, in my opinion, a good debit card, you should not be paying any fees or any interest or anything whatsoever in order to maintain that. So it's completely free, which can differ from certain credit cards, but we'll get into that. Now, next, the reason that you might not want a credit card is that it's really easy to get in trouble with credit cards. So what do I mean by get in trouble? I mean spend more money than you have, live above your means, and just get into these bad spending habits where you're spending money that you really can't afford to be spending, and you're getting yourself into a huge mess of credit card debt and just all these obligations that you have to pay that you really have no way of affording. So the reason that this is the case is because with a credit card, again, you're spending bill money, you're spending money that you don't necessarily have right now. Whereas with a debit card, you need to have this money in order to spend it. Now, of course, with a debit card, you can spend money that you should have spent on rent, on things that you should not have spent that money on. But with a credit card, it's much easier to spend above your means and to just live above your means in general. Now, what a lot of people don't realize is the actual implications of credit card debt interest. So if you have just $1,000 of credit card debt and you decide to pay only the minimum payment, it'll actually take you about 5 years to pay off that $1,000. And this is where I see college students really getting into a trap of thinking in terms of the minimum payment instead of the actual money involved. So what do I mean by this? I mean college students who go out and spend $1,000 on a MacBook Pro and see the installment plan of $25 a month, and they think, wow, I can afford $25 a month. I have an extra $25 a month coming in from my job, so this is a purchase that I can easily afford. When in reality, they have $0 in their bank account. They're already living paycheck to paycheck, and this is just making their finances even tighter than they need to be. So when you get in the trap of thinking in terms of minimum payments, it can be very detrimental to your financial health in general. And this is a problem that I see a lot of college students struggling with, is thinking, especially say in a car loan, they give you that convenient monthly payment figure on all the commercials. So you only have to pay whatever, $400 a month. I can afford $400 a month. So then you get in the trap of not actually looking at the real price tag of, say, $30,000, realizing you have nowhere close to that much money, and $400 a month is really going to tie up your financial situation even more than it needs to be. And this can really just lead you into digging yourself into a giant hole of debt that it can be very tricky to get out of, because credit card debt does have some of the highest interest rates that you're going to be seeing, upwards of 20% even on some credit cards, especially for college students who are seen as riskier borrowers because they don't have that credit score coming in. Additionally, if you're a college student, if you just got your first credit card, it can be tough to remember things like paying your bills. If you don't have any utility bills, any water bills, anything that you already have to remember to pay every single month, it can be tricky to get in the habit of remembering to log on to your bank statement and get this thing paid off every single month. And forgetting to do so can be very detrimental to somebody who is building their credit in early stages. It can really tank your credit score very quickly and hit you with some unnecessary fees, unnecessary interest. So that is another con to using credit cards. So in essence, the main downside to credit cards and the main upside to debit cards is that debit cards can really save you from yourself. And what I mean by this is, if you don't have, say, the willpower or the habits built already to get you paying off this bill every single month, get you paying it off in full instead of just thinking in terms of monthly payments, then getting a debit card can really save you from these bad habits that you could be building with a credit card. And additionally, debit cards can allow you to live more frugally because they don't have any fees, no interest, none of that. But in reality, debit cards are really just going to be saving you from yourself and potential bad spending habits. But what about credit cards? So clearly you know that I'm making an argument for credit cards in this video, so I better have a pretty strong argument to back those up. Well, good thing I do. So why is having a credit card important, especially at a young age, especially in college? Well, it really comes down to building credit. I mean, you're probably thinking, no shit, you got to build credit. That's what a credit card is for. But let me just try to show you guys the real implications that debt and not having a nice credit score is going to have throughout the course of your life. So what it really comes down to is, over the course of your life, on average, an average American is going to spend about $270,000. That is $270,000. I don't know about where you live, but where I live, I could buy a pretty nice house, 270 grand on interest throughout the course of their life. This is interest on things like a car loan, like an auto loan, like their student loans. $270,000 on interest alone. That is just money that is going straight to the bank, that is completely out of your pocket and straight to them. So clearly this is a big deal, and any damage that you can do to that $270,000 figure can be very effective in essentially just putting more money into your pocket that you can go out and save or invest or even buy a house. I mean, $270,000. Of course, you're not going to get away with paying no interest throughout the course of your life, most likely, but if you're able to mitigate that number, you can really have a lot more money to work with throughout the course of your life and potentially free up a lot of your financial situation and alleviate some financial stress that you might be dealing with. Now, additionally, with credit cards, that is the big thing. I mean, just building credit so you can mitigate that $270,000 figure. But another thing is the rewards. So how I look at credit card rewards is not in terms of something that I should be like striving to achieve, rather something that is a nice bonus for something that I'm already doing. So if I'm already spending money at, say, Target, if I'm already going to Target to get some groceries and I buy $50 worth of groceries, and through credit card rewards I can get $5 back, Like, that seems like a no-brainer to me. And when you're using a debit card, that really isn't the case. I know with Discover, they have a debit card that earns you like 1% cash back, but with credit cards, you can really get closer to like 30% cash back if you do it right, and I've got a bunch of videos on that as well. So you've got your rewards, you've got your building credit, but there are also some other important factors that not a lot of people consider when they think of credit cards. Obviously, building credit and rewards are going to be the top two people look at usually, but there are some other ones that you got to consider. The first of which is purchase protection. So when you buy something with a credit card, there's a good chance that they're going to actually apply a warranty to that item, depending on who your credit card issuer is, what credit card you actually have. There's a good chance that you might get a free extended warranty on that product. Additionally, getting refunds on fraudulent purchases is a much simpler thing to do with credit cards than debit cards. Now, why is that? It's because no money has actually left your account. So if somebody gets, say, your debit card number, or they get your debit card, maybe you lose it and they find it, and they go out and they spend $500 on it, it's going to be a lot trickier to get that money back than if the same thing were to happen with a credit card. Now, that's because with the credit card, no money has left your account until you pay your bill. And if you catch that, if you see somebody just spent $500 on your account, you can easily go in and fix that. And you're going to be able to do that much, much easier than if it was a debit card that you were dealing with. Now, the last advantage that I see to credit cards is their security. So like I was just talking about with getting your money back if something were to happen, if somebody were to get your card, additionally, you have a lot more legal protection with credit cards, with credit card purchases. Again, you can read a lot more about this in your terms of service for your credit card, but that really does depend. Hey. All right, guys, better wrap this up pretty soon. So like I was saying, you got the security benefits of if something does happen to your card, you're gonna be able to get that money back. And basically what it comes down to with a credit card is if you're able to use it correctly, if you're able to use it to your benefit, you're gonna be able to build smart habits. You're going to be able to get the most bang for your buck when it comes to spending money that you already spend, getting money back for stuff that you already spend money on, and just saving yourself thousands and thousands of dollars in interest, because $270,000 in interest is just an obscene number in my opinion. Anyways, guys, that was the video. That is why I think credit cards are far, far superior to debit cards, and why I think every college student should at least look into getting a credit card for themselves. Anyways, guys, I'll see you guys tomorrow, and until next time. Wait. I did not mean to clap yet. I was supposed to mention our sponsors in this video. Let me check. Oh, wait, it's me. Well, in that case, if you are a college student or otherwise financially strapped individual looking to invest, I put together a completely free course. Link for that will be found in the description below. It's called $100 and a Smartphone, and it's going to walk you through the process of putting your first $100 to work from the comfort of your smartphone. Included in this course is a free 30-minute Skype call with yours truly. So if you want to talk through any personal finance related topics that relate to you personally, some one-on-one stuff, if you're interested at all in that, be sure to sign up for one of those. And yeah, if you're interested in more details, the link will be in the description below, and it is 100% free.